Hey everybody, welcome back to PixelJunkies podcast,
back.
episode 150.
Yeah, you got it.
This week, not joined by Rory, so I wasn't cut off right before I was going to fucking intro this goddamn cocksucking show. I'm one of your hosts, Adam, and we are joined today by...
Sandy!
I thought he was pointing.
I was pointing at Aaron, but...
He hesitated.
Adam gave me a visual cue, and I can't see him.
We're joined by Aaron.
I'm Aaron. How's it going?
And Thomas.
And...
I'd just like to say the term cocksucking is a very racist
What?
and sexist term.
I agree
and
that
I
it's...
resent its use.
Why is it racist? I get the sexist part.
Why is it sexist? Women can have dicks.
I
That's
mean,
the first guy we've seen.
yeah, it is.
Like, is
He
the
asked me how I'm
bubonic
with
plague a
riddles.
thing? What's going on here in
And
this?
I left.
So what? We're playing Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. There's a couple of mods on this, so it's looking pretty good.
This is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just came out. This
is a real world, very realistic, set in actual
So here's a
medieval
map.
times.
Cool.
There's not enough shit around.
takes
the
place
map.
in 1400s of Bohemia. I guess that's like Czech and Hungary.
Bohemia.
area.
So everyone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a realistic game, so like you
no
gotta
magic.
eat stuff, you gotta sleep, right? And Elder Scrolls could honestly learn a lot of stuff from this. I know Andrew's played it a little bit, but like reputation and stuff makes a difference. Like even the state of your clothes has an impact on how people look at you.
I was gonna say I looked into some of the RPG elements of this game, and they seem like I don't know who developed it, but they seem to have taken a lot of attention to detail that I wish
Yeah.
Bethesda and like it's almost as much level of detail as like CD Projekt Red had with some of the Witcher games. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a really well crafted, thought out game.
A lot of that stuff is done really well. There, like
Look at the poop coming out of that house.
it's almost like
I missed it.
Just
The what?
the gaseous poop coming out of the house.
Is it red? Is that a trick of my eyes, or is that red smoke?
That was the Great Bohemian Poop House.
Purple Poo House. I don't know.
By the way,
Anyway.
I now have a new name for my bar if I ever open it up.
It does a great job with interaction because like in Skyrim or Fallout or whatever, a lot of the kind of the like if you ask someone how to like can you do something or tell me the answer to this, it's your stats are factored into it, but it's almost like it's just RNG but based on your stats. Whereas in this, there's kind of three routes of.
Did you name your horse Pebbles?
No, they gave me the horse and its name is Pebbles.
Yeah.
Gave it to him.
Anyway, so
Aaron's
there's
weird, like in GTA when he gets really fucking affectionate over his cars, he doesn't let anything scratch them despite the fact that it's GTA.
I
he's
just
super
drive
affectionate with them.
normally. Sandy can attest to that as well. He spent all last night trying to drive without scratching his new truck, and then you flew into it in 1 second.
You have a new truck?
We got a new truck.
Nice.
Anyway, so it's broken down into three categories. Just straight up speech, which is like based on your charisma and your, I guess, your literacy skill and stuff. A lot of people didn't know how to read and stuff back then, so you can learn how to read in this. And then there's also like your nobility score and your threat score. So if you go up to like a kind of a highborn person who's very noble or a lord or something, and you're wearing kind of shitty clothes, if you try to talk to them nobly, they'll just like laugh at you. But if you're kind of maybe dressed as like a soldier, you can kind of see what I'm wearing here now. My clothes are rotten, but if you have like weapons on you and you're wearing armor and you go to like a peasant and you use it like a threatening score, then they'll be intimidated by you because of the way you look, basically. So there's a lot of like judgment on even your clothes and stuff. If you have nice clothes on but they're dirty or they're torn, then the same sort of thing plays a role.
So what is there a main quest of the game, or is it kind of just
There is, yeah. I was kind of surprised by that. I was expecting kind of just some like loose story missions, but kind of not really a central focus. The basic story, I don't get too far into it because I don't know how far Andrew is, but yeah, you were living in a place sort of north that got overrun by kind of an army, and now that village was kind of torched, and you got kind of cast out into surrounding villages, and you're trying to basically track down the people who did it.
It wouldn't be the Ottomans, would it? Because they were quite well known to kind of wander into the Balkans and just burn everything to the ground. That was their style.
No, and I'm
That
not sure
really
how
handy
historically
with the
accurate
rest.
the factions are, but
Best.
it isn't the Ottomans.
This is our empire. Just this.
Yeah, I'm gonna head
Oh yeah.
head down here
Visual joke.
maybe.
Of which we can't see.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's very expansive. I love how like realistic it is. There's
I like
a lot
the
of
map.
side activities to do. Yeah, and there's even got like
Oh,
there's like the world map, but then the cities all have their individual like
Pretzels.
yeah. So there's the bakers and so
Like,
it's pretty cool. It
something
has a lot of
3
like
times.
the RPG elements of eat and sleep all that kind of stuff, but it never really becomes
Cumbersome.
yeah. Like in a
'Cause-
lot of those games, it's like oh man, gotta eat. It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the main problem I have
Yeah.
with I think what's that game up in the north in Canada that we played a little while ago?
Oh, The
you
Long
were on.
Dark.
You were on one of the few episodes you were on actually.
Yeah.
The Long Dark.
The one where you
Yeah.
got to keep warm.
Yeah, and I felt like that one was a bit extreme. And what was the We Happy Few? I think also had a survival mechanic in it, and that was absolutely ridiculous. Like you'd eat a full 5-course meal, and then like 2 minutes later you'd be like, "I'm hungry." I'm like, "Fucking diet.
yeah.
Eat smaller portions."
Yeah. Well, in this you can go a couple days without eating. I think you can go like 4 or 5 days without eating.
Can you turn those survival mechanics off and just kind
No.
of okay?
And it
What just
also
happened?
carries over into I was running too fast on
screen
my
just went like-
stamina. If you run
Like,
too
slowed down.
much, your stamina
Okay.
like you'll just start to pass out.
It
and
looks
stuff.
like you're about to pass out. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like
where's
the
it?
just sweating down the road.
And same with like sleeping as well. You'll get really tired and eventually you'll just pass out. But you can go like 3 days without sleeping.
So I gotta be honest.
Healthy.
This game sounds absolutely amazing, and I'm really digging it. I would like to see this game engine with all these deep mechanics put into a more fantasy setting. So you're not just because I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what this game's doing because it's very very
No, I hear you.
interesting that you can. I don't think there's very many games that take place in a historical setting in the Middle Ages. They're usually Middle Ages inspired, but there's fantasy elements. So it's very interesting to get to play a game like this.
That's just
Just a straight up kind of simulator, for lack of a better term. But it would
It
be
really
nice to
is,
see
yeah.
like an Elder Scrolls game, or even another type of fantasy game with these type of deep mechanics.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It'd be cool if like Elder Scrolls learned a couple of things from this, because the way it treats like fast travel and stuff, like if you can fast travel to set points, but when you do fast travel, it still takes into account like how tired you are and how much food you've eaten. So if you travel like 2 days off, to the other side of the map, you'll be starving and you'll be and you'll need to sleep and stuff. And you can also like even during your fast travel process, you can find it. You'll have random encounters. Like it'll pop up and say like, "Animal on the road. Would you like to stop?" And it'll like bring you out of the fast travel
Oh, that's cool.
rather than in Elder Scrolls where it's just like a loading screen to the other thing.
Now, how many times does the game glitch out and then you have to reboot because somebody added a mod in that completely fucked the quest?
Well, I haven't had any mods apart from adjusting the save system, because the way the save system works is basically anytime you sleep or a big event happens or a story mission completes, it'll auto-save. But if you want to save on your own, you need to drink Savior Schnapps, which is obviously an alcohol. When you do that, you'll save your game. But of course, the more you drink, the more like you already get addicted to alcohol, and you also have there's also effects for drinking alcohol as well.
That seems awful.
Yeah, it's kind of to discourage you from abusing the system, but I feel like that's kind of a player choice thing and should be optional.
That's
So
like,
you can
what was
actually
it-
go in and edit the game files to when you save the game, it doesn't actually consume the Savior Schnapps.
Oh.
So
What was the game that came out by Ion Storm way back in the day? I think it was Daikatana had like a really terrible... Andrew, do you remember what the Daikatana save system? It had like save crystals, and every level had so many save crystals, I think, and if you didn't collect... You could run out of save crystals, and then you just couldn't save the game anymore?
Yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember what game it was, but like in the time of renting video games for my like PlayStation 2, I remember renting one.
In the way back days.
Yes. I remember renting one and being really excited and getting to a point and then saving and being like, alright, I'll pick this up tomorrow. The next day I got up, went down. Turns out, like, a feature of the game was when you turned off the game at any point, it automatically deleted your save. It was designed as like a hardcore game.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It was so... I was glad I had only rented it and hadn't purchased the game.
That would be.
That seems dumb.
Because I mean, like, nothing against the PlayStation 2, but you know, it's not a robust system by any means. Even for the time, its hardware was not great. It was the least powerful of the three systems, and so to have it running for that long a time, you're gonna bonk your head there, man.
Sorry about it.
Is probably not good for the system. Just in the background. No, Mom, I gotta keep it on because I can't. It doesn't let me save. Yes, I know it's stupid, but I got real far.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Well, I remember I had Gran Turismo on it, and I didn't have a memory card at first because it just came with a Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And ATV Off-Road Fury, with high quality games. And I was going through like the career mode of Gran Turismo, and I was like, I literally can't turn this off because I don't have a memory card yet. So I think when I first got my PlayStation, it was left on for like a week and a half as I was going through and beating Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I did stuff like that as well.
Yeah?
Like with like Burnout and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I either didn't have space or never had a memory card.
That's what Rory did. I don't know if he's told this story before. I'm sorry to steal your thunder there, Rory, but he was playing.
Rory.
He beat Metal Gear Solid 1, I think, in one sitting,
Yeah.
and because he didn't have a memory card, and so he was at like the final cutscene, which is like half an hour long because it's Hideo Kojima, and it was like 4:00 in the morning. He wanted to go to bed, but he didn't want to have to like there was no like save point in the cutscenes. So he was like, "Come on, I want to go to sleep." And the character kept droning on, and you know, Roy's probably saying Adam's got that all wrong, but you know, whatever.
You know, none of that happened.
No.
You're wrong.
So we should probably talk about some of the topics on this topic list.
I don't know.
We
It
have-
seems more interesting.
Some of the
than
few
what
that
was
we
on that
have.
list.
You want to talk about how the lockpicking works in that game?
I mean, yeah, the lockpicking is different than Elder Scrolls, that's for sure, in that you can see the lockpick and it goes into the thing and you just turn it and you feel the resistance. In this, it's kind of just an icon. It's a circle with a centered piece, and you kind of just move your cursor around, I guess, to find the golden point or whatever, where the cursor turns gold, and then you need to hold it there as you also rotate the circle. I haven't had too much trouble with it, but it's...
Are you playing with a mouse and keyboard?
Yes.
Oh.
I haven't had too much trouble with the system. Sometimes it breaks, like if you touch the sides or whatever, or if you get too far away from the center point, then it will break, or you'll just wear out your lockpick or something.
Andrew, I think I found the one. I found the one thing he added to the topic list. Which out of these topics, which one do you think he added? Which one would you say that Andrew wrote?
Oh, the one in all caps. But so, what was the concern, Andrew, with the lockpicking? Because I haven't had too much.
You don't
issue
find
with
it moves way too fast? Like, I can see it maybe working with a controller, where you've got to rotate the lock, but they've mapped.
I'm just gonna fast travel.
They've mapped an analog control onto a digital button with the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
So there's no sensitivity or anything. On a keyboard, you just tap the D button and it's full
Stop
throttle
talking,
all
God,
the way.
Andrew. Yeah. I'm gonna skip this guy. I don't know. I don't know if they've adjusted it since launch. I didn't really do a whole lot of lockpicking day one, but it didn't seem. It hasn't seemed too bad in the last few attempts that I've done it. So I don't know. I find the pickpocketing worse myself, just from a design point. I think the lockpicking can be adjusted in terms of sensitivity and stuff.
Yeah.
But the pickpocketing itself, rather than in Elder Scrolls, you open the person's inventory and then you have a percentage of stealing smaller and bigger things. In this, it's like it opens up. Well, actually, you need to. It shows you a little wheel, and then you need to hold it for X amount of seconds, and the amount of seconds you hold it, that's how much time you have to steal something. And
I like the torch.
in that amount of time, say you hold it for 5 or 6 seconds, they could at any moment detect you randomly, and then that's it.
Stab somebody.
Which is dumb. And then once you do get into their inventory, everything is a lock, and you need to move with the slowest fucking wheel ever around to each item and see what they are. And with the amount of time you have, then confirm you want to take something and then move it back to the initial point. It's really dumb because, like, I guess it's good in a sense that you can't see what everyone has, but it makes doing it with the current save system next to impossible.
So it's not like an Elder Scrolls where you can just drop like a mini nuke, or Fallout where you can drop a nuke into some guy's pocket and then back away.
No, you can't put stuff onto them, as far as I'm aware. Maybe you can, but I haven't tried that.
Frame a person for murder.
But like one of the quests is you need to like take a thing, and you can pickpocket the key off the guy. But if he has 10 things in his pocket, you need to search each individual one, and then to luck into getting the right one on your one save, I mean, you're guaranteed to be caught. Like, it's dumb. And there's no other way to get your pickpocketing skill up without pickpocketing, so it's like...
Probably easiest to just knock him out.
Yeah. But then I don't know if there's repercussions then for knocking the guy out. Like, do they then come back to you and say, like, hey, you knocked me out, or something? Like, I don't know how that would work. If they... I don't know, I guess you'd have to be caught. But it's just weird.
What you do is you take the clothes off, and when they wake up, they're like, "Damn horse."
Man, it's like Rory playing Elder Scrolls.
I was gonna say, have you joined the Dark Brotherhood yet? So I guess we should probably talk. The next big thing we should talk about, not in order, but we're gonna go see Black Panther tonight.
Yes.
And there's been a little bit of controversy surrounding the kind of release of this movie. Andrew, did you want to bring that up? Did you want to talk
Why?
about it?
Because I'm racist?
No, because you were talking about it earlier in the week.
Well,
weren't
yeah.
you?
Oh, was I?
So you were just racist earlier in the week. You want to revisit that?
Black Panther has some controversy going on. I don't know if you guys have heard.
I have, but just explain to me again.
So the review embargo lifted, I think, last week, maybe? I don't know. It's been getting all positive reviews. I have no idea if this is where you want to go with this. It's been getting all positive reviews. And recently, 1 or 2 reviews have come out and been not necessarily negative, but more negative than the others. And these reviews have been getting...
A lot of hate, I'm assuming?
Yeah, a lot of hate.
It's kind of reminds me of what happened to some of the reviewers of Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. So that game was getting universally,
praised.
Yeah. And some people will be like, it's good, but it has its faults. And then those people are just getting like crucified on the internet. It almost makes you afraid of, well, not almost, but I mean, like, you can certainly understand why some people would be like, I'm not doing reviews, or I don't want to review this game because it's not a great game, but the fans are rabid, and I don't want to invoke, I don't want to get involved in any kind of massive fucking spat with fans. So just fucking, I'm not going to review it.
Yeah. So a common theme that most of the positive reviews have is the praise for the movie's diversity and message, even though I think if you look closer at it, it probably shouldn't be. But the negative reviews have been focusing on it more as a movie, and less so on its message.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it should be judged anyway, but yeah.
I mean, I was having a conversation with a person earlier the week, and we were talking about the Ghost in the Shell movie, and she was saying how Scarlett Johansson shouldn't have been picked for that role. And I said, I agree with you. However, Scarlett Johansson did a really good job in that role. And she's like, yeah, but she shouldn't have been picked. And I said, I know, I'm aware, I'm agreeing with you, but she was picked, and I'm just saying, as a kind of as a very kind of unbiased view, I thought she did a good job as the Major. Would a Japanese person have worked, actress have worked better in that role? Yes, because it's supposed to be a Japanese character. But
Yes, but the character was changed though. Right?
yes,
So
but
a
I mean,
Japanese
I don't want
character may
to
not
get
have
into
worked as well for that character.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole debate
anime,
again.
Then yes.
But that, I mean, that's the point. Is you got to be able to talk about movies as a product without talking about the kind of controversy surrounding it. I mean, Rory brought up a good example when he was talking about when he reviewed 50 Shades of Grey when it first came out. I don't know why he wanted to see that. And he,
I can think of a reason why he would have went to see that.
yeah.
He likes Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
Probably. Seems like a Rory woman.
And anyway,
I'd like to
defend
code
herself.
her Johnson.
Jesus Christ.
She probably would too.
And he was saying how, like, everybody was talking about how, bad or good this movie was because of it's such a controversial film. And he was like, it's just a terrible film. I mean, you got to put the controversy aside when you walk in the door and just take it as a film. And as a film, it's pretty bad. The writing is bad, and the acting is bad, and everything about this movie is bad. Don't go see this.
But you get to see Dakota Johnson's chesticles.
Yes, but
You
I
could
mean,
probably just Google that.
yeah, you could.
You can now.
Yeah.
You probably could about 10 days before the movie came out.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, I think for judging from the trailers, I don't know what you guys think, Sandy and Thomas, but I think Black Panther is looking. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of piss in there. I think
It's just mud, isn't it?
Now he's in Europe.
Just taste it.
Passes over dead from dysentery.
I was gonna say, like,
and now you have the plague.
how much of a role did illnesses play in this?
I'm not sure you can get sick.
Not
Actually,
a true
no, you can't.
simulator of the
You
Middle
can get
Ages.
sick.
Yeah, that simulator's starting to fall through there now.
You can get sick. Well, it's a simulator of all the interesting things. Getting
Well,
sick
you
and
did.
You can
It-
fucking
it
wash
sends
yourself.
a-
Why
it
would they
sends
let
a
you
pro-
wash yourself?
get dirt off your clothes.
The clothes is what's meant. The clothes make it.
Getting
man.
dysentery every 8 seconds is not interesting.
Yeah, it was. That's why people kept coming back to Oregon.
Why? It would give you a shit about not going slogging it through bog.
Man, what does your
We're going
character
through-
remind me of?
Also, as a side note, Aaron, you're a male character.
Jesus
guess.
Christ!
Well, I mean, Middle Ages, you want to do anything.
You know what she
gotta be
looks
male.
like? Who's the missus from...
I know, but
If you're a
weird
woman
for-
in the 1400s, you're just gonna get burnt at the stake. Let's
No,
be
but I
honest.
mean... yeah. Actually, it was more 1600s.
Nope.
You're just gonna get raped in the 1400s.
Yeah. Also,
That
right.
woman, she looks like the Angel, was it, from Deadpool? She looks like that Mrs.
Okay.
Slightly less angry Rosie O'Donnell.
Gina Carano.
Thank you.
Alright. So, have you seen any trailers on Black Panther? What are you thinking about it there, Sandy? He tried to pass it to you, but you got distracted. Science.
This is actually where I let you guys down. I don't watch trailers so that I can go into movies with an open mind.
You know what? I haven't
that's
watched a
what
single
we're
trailer for it either. But
I'm trying to lay it
Man,
off.
I'm
Trying to play it quiet.
I think I tried to bring you into the fucking conversation.
no, but
I listened to about it on the radio.
but what I was gonna say is my cousin he saw
He watches trailers.
he watches all of them.
Okay.
And he texts me all the time asking for my
Forgot his
opinion. My cousin's way better. He's like me, but he's black.
So,
Oh, what?
here we go.
Any case,
Here we go.
he's like
Aaron, can you, like, put a little, like, warning sign up?
If I remember.
Put up a trigger warning, Aaron.
So continue.
you would like his Twitter. He's like, I'm a Kinder Surprise. I'm brown on the outside, but I'm just like a white guy. Because he's
And
born
just-
and raised in Newfoundland.
Just like a Kinder Surprise, he's not legal in America.
Yeah. Any case,
Jesus Christ be praised.
what,
When they say that? When they say, like,
Because they're
our
all
Lord
Christian
be
and whatnot.
praised, or...
Yeah, don't say the Lord's name in vain, guys.
Just saying
Well,
it
it's not
vain.
in vain, but I mean, it's normally just... Then they kind of shy
You
away
weren't
from
into
the saying
1400s, Sandy?
As a
Yeah,
kid,
you're right. I have absolutely no reason that I can comment on this.
Nope.
Hey,
No
opinion.
4 years of my fucking life.
What was your degree in?
medieval studies. But what he said is he has liked that until the final marketing push for the movie. Generally, most people are just treating it as another superhero movie. The final push has been all about like race equivalency and all this, good to see diversity and all that. But he's happy that it's just been, yeah, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm...
guy's black, whatever.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. If a movie stars a male or a female or anyone of color or minority or anything, I want it just to be treated the exact same as anything else. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Is it written, and is it going to fit in to the MCU and all that? That's awesome. Wicked.
Also, the thing that I've been finding funny about this movie is really, like, this movie is so important because it's the first superhero movie to feature a black guy.
Hancock.
And I was like,
say, no, it's
first
not.
off, Hancock or Blade, whichever
Or
one
Black Dynamite.
or Black Dynamite, yes.
He's a superhero.
Or,
Just can't get enough of that apple juice stream, can you?
yeah, I think we're going to see
I love that ammonia smell, man.
So, kind of
you're
coming
gonna
off of Disney movies.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, Disney is rumored
Time
to
out.
be taking Star Wars away from EA, which I find very interesting.
Was that rumored before?
I mean, it's probably been rumored a bunch of times. Andrew, I believe you added this one to the podcast list. Do you want to
Why
talk
would
about it?
you
Because I
believe
actually haven't heard this rumor.
First of all, I have no idea why you would think that I added this to the list.
Because it says
But also-
rumors in the house. Star Wars being taken away from EA, question, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. That has you kind of written all
You
over
had to
it.
fast travel your way out of the goddamn stream?
Probably. I mean, I probably could have gotten out, but I'm not wasting more time.
Trying to slide that one in there.
Yeah,
The
so
game's not
people have
flawless.
been. This has been rumored for a while. Another one popped up recently after the whole loot box controversy and Battlefront 2 being not necessarily a failure, but failing to meet their expectations. Disney. It's rumored that Disney is looking to take the license away from EA. There may be some clause in the contract that allows them to do this, based on how EA is treating the franchise.
It might also be because they're Disney and they can just do what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I like the idea of one of the representatives from LucasArts going to talk with a representative from EA, and he's like, "So I heard that the Star Wars, the production of the Star Wars games is falling behind schedule." He's like, "We need more men." He's like, "Well, that will be very hard to explain for when the Disney representatives come here." He's like, "The Disney representatives are coming here? Yes, and they will be far less lenient than I will. We will redouble our efforts." And if anybody doesn't know what I'm getting at, it's the opening to Return of the Jedi because it's a
Yeah, it's good.
Star Wars thing.
Good on you.
Sorry, that one fell kind of flat. I'm sorry.
No, I got
I
it.
got
I
I
got it,
appreciate
I got
it.
it, I
Future
do.
Tom's gonna love that.
Look it up,
Thanks,
Towns.
Towns.
Time,
Look it up, Towns.
timestamp is probably about 2 minutes in that film after the opening credits.
I was going to say,
Right now, the rumor is that Disney is looking towards two possible companies to take over the Star Wars video game franchise.
Hopefully
Sorry?
Capcom is one of them.
Can you
And Kon-
guess who those companies are?
Activision and
Ubisoft,
yeah,
for sure.
Ubisoft would
Konami.
Yeah, you
kill
got
it.
it.
would it?
Yeah.
Personally, I'd be okay with Ubisoft right now because I think they're the only big AAA company making single-player games anymore. So
Well,
Yeah.
Bethesda.
yeah, but Bethesda doesn't have the turnout that
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Activision or Ubisoft.
Yeah, like Ubisoft.
it's literally. It
can
would
turn
literally be
it out.
like, okay, we just released episode 6. The wait until the prequels. That would be a similar kind of wait for a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
And that would come out, and unlike the prequels, I'm sure it would be engrossing and incredible.
really well
and
written.
you could get sick from falling into a puddle of piss. But
Can't get sick
it
of
would be
Bethesda
a
games.
very long wait.
Okay, so this is
And it would
probably
be
going
aimed
to
at
be
children, and we'd hate it.
this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I really hope that Square Enix gets it.
I thought you were going to say Activision.
They probably won't. Although they might.
you.
You know
actually.
what? I'd like to see a good Star Wars.
Doesn't Square already have the
JRPG?
MCU games?
Oh man,
Oh, man, it'd be
that'd
so
awesome.
fun.
Yeah,
like the newest Final Fantasy, where it was the dudes on the road trip in the car.
that'd be
Friggin'
awesome.
like guys in the
By the
starship
way.
going on adventures.
Yeah, and just hours and hours of bland characters just talking to each other.
Square has the Marvel license, doesn't it?
Yes, I believe
They
so.
do.
I don't think they would also burden them with Star Wars.
Nah,
then.
the Square can do it. I mean, it's
Square
not like the last couple of Final Fantasy games would be a massive letdown.
I mean, Square has proven
That's true,
themselves with all the Marvel games they've put out since they got the.
No, I mean, like Square's like in-house developers. I
What
mean, a
Marvel
lot of their
games have they
third-party
put
stuff
out?
is great.
Yeah.
But
That was the joke. They haven't put out any.
Well, we got Spider-Man, but I guess they're publishing it. right?
Is that a Square game?
I mean, I think it's Insomniac, isn't it? But I think
I think it's Sony.
I thought
Yeah, I don't know.
Insomniac was Activision.
What is
Because I
it
don't
with these
think the
AAA
Spider-Man
companies
is
getting these
part of that
massive
Marvel
licenses? Like, yeah, we're gonna do nothing with it. We're just gonna sit on it for a couple of years.
They pay money to have the license, and then they're like, all right, now
That's good
let's wait
audio,
till
that
there's
is.
better demand. Do we got a winner? No. Is it a
I think they
properly
didn't money up
printed
the
one?
fucking audio.
Well, then fucking cut that bit, you
We
bastards.
will
No,
now.
no, we won't.
Because Thomas was talking.
Work that into your 3
Why can't
minutes
you
of
call out
editing.
these banks?
F that.
You want to edit this, Sandy?
You want to entrust me to edit this?
No.
Oh man, I'd love to edit a video at some point and just make it garbage.
Isn't Jordan gonna be editing one of these
Oh,
videos?
shit. No, he's not editing them.
Oh, he's fighting someone.
This is the part that
He's
I've been
doing
waiting
the
for.
audio.
Waiting a half hour for this.
Stab. Oh, he got hit in the face with a fireman axe.
He's doing.
But he's okay. Stab.
You're like if Archer, Andrew. You're like if Archer was like a medieval warrior. Like, oh, we gotta.
So I'm noticing a star, and one of them is red, and it switches back and forth. Does that mean your direction of attack?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
So you have 5 points that you can slash, and the center
And
point
you
is
got the
stabbing.
stab.
Okay.
That's nifty.
Kill him.
Hey, Sandy.
Yo, I'm
It's not
Sandy.
Skyrim, Adam. Oh shit,
Do
I'm
you
gonna die.
enjoy a good Witcher game?
I haven't actually gotten around to playing Witcher.
God damn it.
You were so ready for me to be your best friend, weren't you?
No, it was a segue. Hey, Thomas.
I also have never played.
He likes
Witcher
he likes Witcher. Adam likes
God.
Witcher.
Damn it.
Talk to Adam about Witcher, and we'll segue
games.
into
Me and
this.
Sandy are really good guests.
Hey, have you ever played Witcher?
Adam?
Andrew, I hear you're a fan of The Witcher.
I sure am.
Flawless segue.
Aaron, just cut that.
So, Andrew, I hear you're a fan of the Witcher games. I sure am. Hey, did you know that CD Projekt Red has recently called out the whole loot box controversy thing?
I heard about this.
You know, I didn't hear about that, but please explain it to me. Sure, okay. So, CD Projekt Red has come out
We don't
in an
really need to get on
interview
this podcast.
and talked about loot boxes. Aaron, do you want to explain it?
Do you want to speak for Aaron?
At what point during that bit did you run out of steam?
When I looked down at my glass and realized it was almost empty.
Well, I gotta go.
So I actually haven't heard about this. I heard about it, but I haven't looked into it. So they came out and they said that none of their games will be featuring loot boxes of any kind.
Well, they said more or less that if you pay full price for a game, you should get a full game,
Yeah,
and that's it.
That's their same opinion on like DLC and stuff too.
Yeah, and they said, like a full price game, and you get all the content, and then some DLC like expansions further down the road. But I mean, we had a pretty extensive debate about this yesterday, and then I found. I mean, I think in some instances, now I'm not talking about the super scummy loot boxes where everything is random and you gotta pay hand over fist to get stat boosts and all that nonsense, but some cosmetic items in some games I don't think is that different from a principle than having to pay for expansion packs. Which it doesn't, like, didn't they make Gwent also, and that has microtransactions?
Yeah, but Gwent is a
Yes, but
free-to-play
it's a
game.
free-to-play game.
That's the
Yeah.
difference. You're not paying
Fair
for
enough,
a
I
game.
guess.
That guy's looking at you, by the way.
Side note, Andrew.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Can I call you like
Oh, shit.
Andrew the loot box guy? Because every time I hear you speak on the podcast, guaranteed like 2 or 3 of the things you talk about is loot boxes.
Oh. I don't want to be known as the loot box guy, but you can call me whatever you want.
That's a bad decision, Andrew. You should think things through better.
What are you doing, man? You're killing Robin Hood.
Well, take that, merry man. Yeah, you better run. Oh, shitty dick sack.
Little John, no!
He's too powerful
Oh,
for you.
jeez.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's...
I think CDPR's main
Here
point
he comes.
was that
Oh,
loot
fuck, Fire
boxes...
John. He's coming to get you. Oh, he's coming to get you. Oh.
the whole controversy was a response from not just the hardcore gamers, but as from gamers as a whole. And they said this controversy is probably a good thing for the industry because it gets everybody's voice heard in some way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, I will say, oh man, there are some Ottomans. If with respect to loot boxes, I mean, it's all I don't begrudge game companies from trying something new. You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe they really thought, hey, maybe loot boxes would be well received. I doubt it because they're scummy from the onset. But there could have been a chance that it. I don't know. It's just I'm playing devil's advocate here and it's not working. Loot boxes suck and take them out of games, please. And for the most part, I mean. I'm not a huge fan of microtransactions in games, but there's way to do microtransactions right. And whatever you want to say about Grand Theft Auto Online, because there's a lot of legitimate problems I have with that game, and they balanced it better or worse depending on which expansion comes out. The entire game, once you buy it, is free. And the only thing that you can buy with microtransactions are more money, so you can spend on different items in the game. Now you could say that it has a pay-to-win mentality, and it kind of does. But you could also say that it's you're getting free content updates every month or so, and no other game is doing that. So and you don't have to pay anything extra for that. And I mean, there's the argument that you can still get everything in game. You don't have to have microtransactions. You can earn all the money you need to in the game, but at the same time, that's a massive grind. I know I've done it a lot, and it's fucking awful. But I'm a lot more tolerant of it in GTA because GTA is such a good product, and they keep coming out with new content regularly, as opposed to Call of Duty, for example, where Call of Duty comes out once a year. And it doesn't have, I know that whatever money I put in the Call of Duty is not going to matter because in a year's time, the next one is going to come out and everyone's going to switch over to that one anyway. I mean, nobody plays a Call of Duty game past even its, really past the 1.5 year mark that it came out, Most people jump onto the new one. And they once the year is over for a Call of Duty game, that's when all support drops for it. So you're getting no new maps, no new content, nothing like that. It's just all moved over to the next game. So there's no point in spending microtransactions in those kind of games because it's just a waste of money. You're spending money on a game that has a year lifespan, as opposed to GTA or other games like that where, how long has GTA Online been out for? Since 2014, was it? And
October. It was a couple weeks after the launch of the game, so it was.
2013?
It was October 2013.
Yeah. That's a long time. That's like, what, 5 years now?
Almost going on 5.
4.5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. Like, and if you put, like, $60 in that game via microtransactions, that's not bad, depending on how much you've played the game. Because we play that game a lot. And the amount of hours you put in that game, that might, it's a lot more the microtransactions in that game, to make a long story short, are more palatable for those reasons than they would be in other games have done. Especially, just because we've been talking about it, Star Wars, Battlefront 2, where the microtransactions that would have been in that game and are coming into that game are going to be very, very,
have they
very
detailed what that's going to be?
Not yet, not as far as I've seen.
I think it's fully expected it to just be the same as it was.
I would imagine you're correct, Andrew.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
go to sleep.
Speaking about, game companies that, sorry, I got a phone call and I had to reject that. Speaking about game companies that are tend to be a little bit scummy, although this company is certainly not the worst one for this. Ubisoft is creating or is concentrating on Origins and new DLC rather than the new Assassin's Creed game, which I find is interesting because up to this point, pretty much the new Assassin's Creed has come out with it's like Call of Duty with some pretty
limited lifespan.
A limited lifespan, but with regularity is what I'm trying to say. But I'm an idiot and I'm tired.
Doesn't Origins have microtransactions though?
With most of those Assassin's Creed games and stuff, is you can play them years later and they still is fine. generally online isn't like an essential portion of the game.
Yeah, I recently played through Origins, Origins, Unity, and Syndicate for the first time this year.
Yeah,
they all work great.
There next week or so. I'm supposed to be borrowing my cousin's copy of 4 because I want to do the Pirates.
Nice.
And
4's a great game.
Yeah.
I'm slowly making my way through Origins now. I'm doing a lot of just the exploring in the landscape, so I haven't really touched any of the main quests. That's a great game, and I recommend if you haven't played Assassin's Creed in a while, pick up Origins because it's really, really fun. Brought back a lot of the nostalgia that I had for Assassin's Creed that I had lost with some lackluster titles like Assassin's Creed 3, for example, which really caused me to get burnt out from that franchise.
Yeah.
I only ever played one Assassin's Creed game. That was the very first one. I got burned out really quick on that one.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not a great game.
I was introduced with the second one.
Possibly the best game.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games of all time.
4?
Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh yeah, 2 is great.
Yeah.
2 and Brotherhood are both fantastic.
Yeah, although I like Assassin's Creed 2, I think it's a little tighter.
Yeah.
Was Brotherhood the one where they made Ezio look completely different?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't
No,
like
you're
that.
thinking of Revelations.
How's that it was?
Well, they gave him I didn't like Ezio's costume
Were they made of mold?
in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I like the kind of like shorter, tighter outfit. Made him look like kind of a wily youth as opposed to this kind of sage master.
Yeah.
That's just me. Just me.
Knockout.
So yeah, I think this is probably a lie.
God damn it.
How big are your goddamn hands?
I would say you're probably correct, although they have seemed to have slowed down.
What the
In
shit?
the last couple of
Turbo
years,
push
with the creation of their Assassin's Creed games, because what was
That's-
the time gap between Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Assassin's Creed Origins? Was it 2 years between the two?
Yeah, it was 2 years. So I suspect the Origins team is probably going to stay on Origins for a while, and I suspect another team is working on the next Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
Doesn't Origins have microtransactions though?
It does, yeah.
That's probably why.
Oh, it is.
Man, that's a ballsy move.
God
Okay.
damn it! These guys are fucking fuck.
Fuck.
You know what I would like to see?
I don't go to.
And I'd like to see like another company's take on like not just have like be a Ubisoft in-house thing, but maybe kind of license it out, which I know it's like they're never gonna do because it's like Assassin's Creed is their baby. But I'd like to see a more RPG focused Assassin's Creed, so less about open world exploration and more about take Venice as an example, even though we've already been there. Have one city, but make it super detailed and have a bunch of really interesting quests and stuff. So make it more RPG focused in that regard. Almost kind of like if
Get him before he stands up.
like Dishonored or
oh yeah.
oh my god, the Hitman, where you have almost these kind of big sandbox areas that you're put into, so you can really focus on the stealth mechanics. But you're also adding a really in-depth RPG style story with multiple side quests and stuff. Because I mean, the Assassin's Creed games have side quests, but they're not as interesting as some other games.
Yeah. I will say you should probably play... It's not exactly the same, but you should play Unity. Give Unity a shot.
I've been hearing good things about Unity, and it has my favorite historical figure, so I will probably end up picking it up at some point.
Which one's Unity?
Unity's the one in revolutionary France, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? I think one thing. I guess this is just a circle jerk of Ubisoft at this moment. One thing that I kind of like is that with the Assassin's Creed games, they have been
They're going to
slowly.
be Ubisoft when we finish.
I was just thinking that joke.
They've been slowly, basically trying in different games, different concepts. And if the concept's good, they're not going to just limit it to an Assassin's Creed like they're doing with their from Assassin's Creed 4 with the naval combat and all that stuff. They're making it its own game, which is awesome. So I want them to get into more environments and see what other game mechanics they can introduce in Assassin's Creed and then make another game out of it. I'm still waiting for the Samurai Assassins.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I've said that for years, that one of the logical locations for a Assassin's Creed game would be medieval Japan, where you could have samurai and ninjas. That would be that's like kind of like I was saying. The 3 places that they should go to with respect to Assassin's Creed is.
Oh man, I just thought another one I want to.
I want revolutionary France, which I got. I wanted medieval Japan, which I got, or which I hope to get, and this one's probably less likely. I would like beginning of the Roman Empire, Rome, and kind of maybe a follow-up to Assassin's Creed Origins, but take place in Rome. I think that would be really interesting.
I would also like revolutionary Russia.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
Jesus, man. He's laying it on his face. Can you light things on fire? Can you drop them in fire? Can you propagate fire?
Probably not.
Can you propagate
there
fire?
There is a precedent for
Legitimate
revolutionary Russia.
Yeah?
There's an Assassin's Creed comic.
Oh,
set
right.
in that period.
Is there?
There's
Yeah.
Pebbles.
Can you kill your host?
I'm not aware of the mythos of Assassin's Creed.
And there's also one that takes place in China, I believe.
Oh shit.
So I mean, this has all been explored.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do get some interesting things. I'd like to see World War One
That'd be cool, too.
or
Yeah.
something taking place in Scandinavia
Yeah,
during the
I
height
want this.
of Norsemen and all that.
That'd be cool.
How the hell do you attack on horseback?
Or the Mayan Empire.
Civil War America would be cool too. Ubisoft, if you're listening, we take full responsibility for this, and please get in contact with us. We'll write your next game for you.
We love historical things.
Yeah,
Just send the royalties
or even like a
check
future
to
one. That'd be cool. Like a
One
can you imagine a
North Pole,
steampunk?
HOHOHO.
Don't be sending spam to Santa, kids.
Is this
Gets
guy
you on the
going?
naughty list.
No solicitation.
Okay.
Man, this
hey,
guy's
so
got
I-
legs.
Doug.
This guy's the Usain Bolt of his
Like
time.
he's hauling. He's running faster than Usain Bolt in waist deep water.
Interesting sight.
So,
I'll be the judge of that.
another game that came. So we got besides Kingdom Come, another game kind of came out last week. We didn't really get a chance to talk about. That was Shadow of Colossus, which is I believe a remake for the PlayStation 4. So it's not just a port; it's a total from the ground remake. Correct?
Yeah, more or less.
What did I say something?
No, this fucking guy keeps running.
This is the rest of the podcast for us.
Yeah.
Chasing this
Just
man.
middle of the night, you just see a light moving through the forest, and all you hear is, "Ah!"
Fuck you.
Loot him. What's he got?
Bandit.
Nothing, I bet.
Dead.
Or maybe he got his ear.
Tear that off. Yeah. So I don't know. Has anyone played it?
Yeah, I've played and finished
I'll
it.
say.
Is it
Oh,
good?
cool.
Yeah, it's real good. If you enjoyed the original, you'll love this.
And
I
if you
think
haven't played the original but wanted to play it, is this a good
you
experience?
should definitely play this.
Okay.
Everybody should play Shadow of the Colossus.
It's pretty
If you
damn good.
bounce off of it, that's fine, but
shit.
you should at least try it.
Yeah.
Now,
It was always a game. I rented it once and I never found a Colossus.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Alright?
Yeah.
How long did
Don't
you
they just
rent it
kind
for?
of walk you into the first one?
Pretty much.
No.
How old
Oh.
were you?
Oh,
I
shit.
was 11.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I
Okay.
can see it unless you know the buttons, but I would assume there's a tutorial. I can't remember.
No, I never found the second Colossus. I got the first one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Oh.
different.
Okay. No, sorry. Because I remember fighting one. And, yeah. I got past it eventually once I figured out what I was supposed to do. It was a good game, I think.
the second one's under the bridge on the coast, right? I remember correctly?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
You gotta go across the bridge and then down to the beach.
That's one thing I think that
There you
game
go.
did better than any other
Rent it
game
again,
of
Thomas.
that era. Is it got the scale of landscape, and it
Oh man,
because
so great.
it makes you feel, it's almost like Dark Souls before Dark Souls in a way, because there's parts in Dark Souls you're walking along and there's nothing around you, and you're just seeing these massive fucking empty worlds, and you're just
Oh,
like, what
shit.
the fuck happened to this place? And I got that sense from Shadow of the Colossus back in the day. That was a great game, man.
Well, Why can't
I don't think I'll be picking it up right away. I'm definitely going to pick it up at some point, but I think I might wait for a price drop first, because I know it's only $50, but I've already played the game, so I'd rather spend my money on either DBZ Fighters or Monster Hunter World, which I'm leaning right now towards Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't that the game that we had such a great conversation about last time I was on this podcast?
Yeah.
Did they break climbing ledges or something?
Is it like too soft of a ledge? Or
No, normally if there's a like
there you go. This is a spot you can jump up. Surely.
Normally, if there's a spot
Surely.
you can't. You're supposed to be able to climb, and I've done it 100 times
how
already.
Frustrating I'm finding this right now.
So the graphics in this remake are magnificent.
Are they?
Yeah.
I saw a side by side. They do look sharp.
Did you send out a picture earlier the week on PlayStation Chat, Andrew?
Yeah, I sent out a bunch.
Yeah, they look great.
That was the huge selling point of the original Shadow of the Colossus, right? How the characters moved.
Yeah.
And how it flowed.
Yeah.
To me, there were times when it looked like they were just kind of like falling all over the place and falling into place, which gave it a bit of a weird vibe sometimes.
Where the hell am I?
Am I the only one that got that?
I followed you like a man through a piss river.
You couldn't get
Oh
that?
my god, where am I?
I couldn't really follow. I got stuck.
Okay, so the movement's good, but sometimes the movement was a little too random.
Of the
Yeah, I
monsters?
can see what you're saying.
No, of the character, because the monsters for the most part seemed fairly, even though how they move around, but their actual motions were kind of pre-rendered.
This is where you live now, Aaron.
But
I guess
your
so.
horse, and to a lesser extent how your actual person would run. It's not Ico. What's
There we
the
go.
Wanderer? Is that the
It's Wander.
Wander? I don't know. Just every now and again, it was just a little too like loose and floppy, and it just seemed like they were kind of
Yeah, I can see
like you
what
were
you're
putting
saying.
your
The
foot down in the right
controls
place, but it was
are
almost like you were
loose.
falling forward.
Yeah.
See,
It is
he
not
knows
a
what I'm
tight-
talking about. I'm not totally
I
crazy.
don't really remember, man.
I know exactly what Sandy's
I found the
talking
first one and then got lost.
I killed a couple and thought it was repetitive, so I stopped.
Good music, too. One of the better
Fantastic
soundtracks.
music.
Yeah. Certainly one of the better soundtracks of the days. That was definitely, I mean, and, you know,
Where am I?
PlayStation doesn't have a lot to boast because it just had a massive library. But, I mean, certainly the PlayStation had a lot of great titles. That was easily in the top 10 of all-time best PlayStation 2 titles.
Yeah. Like
How
I
have you
said, if you
managed
haven't
this?
played it
I
at
don't
all,
know.
you should absolutely play it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to climb ledges, but I can't for
Just
some reason.
follow the river, and then when it gets deep enough, drown yourself, and then you'll spawn somewhere
I
else.
don't know why I can't. I won't spawn. I'll have to.
Just
That's
like
traveling
Freddy.
your way out of there,
I mean, what?
like a loser.
Aaron managed to get himself stuck in a gourd.
Well, you're supposed to be able to climb ledges in this game, but for some reason it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if they broke it when they patched the game or if it's
So,
weird
It
spots.
would be
on it.
more impressive if you got stuck in a gourd.
I was just
Just
picturing that.
You see a massive bulge in this guy's pants as he waddles his way to the doctor. So I
Pocket
had
pussy of medieval Europe.
so I've been playing with Sandy some Ubisoft's The Division because we picked that up we picked that up the week and we've been playing it, and I have some kind of just some kind of impressions about that game because I know Aaron played it and really liked it, and Sandy plays it and he really likes it. I'm not a big a fan. What are you doing, man?
He's
Well,
trying
Sandy
to.
said fall, so
I
I'm
said
just...
don't fall.
Oh, okay.
The playback,
You want
if we did
the
one,
Division?
would
Yeah.
show.
Go ahead, Adam.
So, the biggest problem, the Division looks great. I like the play of the guns. They all feel really realistic. It's a great third-person shooter. But it goes for a really realistic setting and a really realistic story. And the fact that the guys aren't dying with one or two shots is really bothersome to me. Because I'm getting headshots on dudes with baseball caps with a fairly powerful rifle, and they're just kind of like, ow. And I have to shoot him again, and I'm like,
Not powerful enough.
apparently, but I mean, 7.62 by what's the NATO round, 7.62 by 38. Thank you. I mean, that kind of kills some people.
Yeah,
So-
but you gotta strip that side out of it.
I know, but
I
I
And
mean,
it
just
is
fine.
like this stats building, and you've got the idea of people's levels.
And
You'll feel better when you're a level 10. You run into like some level 5 guys, and you're just like,
Yeah, it gets more in the way of sim towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
I think the beginning of the game is kind of weird because your shots don't kill stuff and it's dumb, and you keep getting higher powerful guns that are exactly the same as what you had. But towards the end of the game, you are like one or two shotting most people, and if they have armor on, it takes a couple of hits.
And like that I understand, but at the beginning of the game, it's certainly it's a, for me personally, it's a little bit breaking, because I'll be like, all right, me and Sam were playing, and we're like, okay, we have a really good firing line, let's fire, and we shot, and I emptied a clip at 3 guys, and none of them died, and I was, and I didn't miss very many shots because they were pretty close. And that's kind of bothersome to me because I was using a fairly powerful rifle. And they were just random kids in the street in New York with baseball bats. I feel like I shouldn't have had as much trouble with them as I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm enjoying the game besides that, but it's a little bit to get over. And I just thought I'd mention
that's what caused me to bounce off of it when I played it.
Same with me. I mean, when I talked about, I didn't talk about the closed beta like 2 years ago, whenever it was. That was the same sort of thing. It seemed dumb, but I guess more just the gunplay and the dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lighting is spot on in this game. And it's CryEngine. But once you get over that hurdle, it became less about the realism and more just about the world. Like, I had more fun just exploring that world than the kind of cumbersome gameplay, at least early on.
I'm hoping that Ghost Recon is more kind of simulator-y.
Wildlands is much more like it's a one-shot kill. Like it just the bullet drop and even the sound, like the acoustics. Like if you shoot over a valley or if you shoot over a mountain, like the sound is different. It'll echo in different ways.
I'm really looking forward to playing that because me and Sandy also picked up that game.
That's much more of a combat simulator.
By the way, you guys should pick up either The Division or Ghost Recon Wildlands because we'll be playing that one shortly.
And the gun customization, I think, is better in Wildlands as well.
It's the sale, though.
So,
fuck them.
There's
not very many topics left. Thomas, you added one to the list about an indie developer being banned from Steam. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So the details that I heard on the matter basically was generally Steam doesn't ban that many developers from its site.
I mean, how long
you gotta be pretty scummy generally, is what I.
And even then, it takes a while. Because how long did it take? Imminent Uprising or what were they called? Digital Homicide from getting banned. They basically had to sue Steam and Google, and then Steam was like, "All right,
you're gone."
Yeah.
And I mean, there's all sorts of people that are just like asset swaps or whatever and everything like that for games on Steam, and they're fine. But basically, this developer, whose name I cannot remember.
Incel.
Thank you. I don't have the topics list. I've never been given the link to such a thing.
I'll give you the link to it. I thought you had it.
And basically their employees, they forced their own employees to leave 5-star reviews on the game. And
that's good, right?
And that goes just against Steam's policies altogether. And like, all right, you did that for all your games. This is horse shit. You're out of here, and that's it.
That's awful. That's like I think it was some law or some judge in New York was bringing down a ruling about Sports Star. What's that fantasy sports like website? Star Kings, is it?
DraftKings.
DraftKings. There it is. They were bringing down some ruling about fantasy sports, teams, that whole enterprise. They were saying, we might decide if this is actually gambling, and it is. And so a bunch of people were protesting, the decision that this judge was making, and all of the people protesting were employees of DraftKings, whose office was across the street, and they were told to get out and start protesting this, or they would lose their jobs. And I'm like, that ain't right.
They should care about their job security, I guess, but I mean,
fair enough, but
they shouldn't have been told by the people to go do it.
No, not at all.
It's like like some energy companies in Canada got in real trouble during the last election because their company paid the money so that they would make donations to certain political parties, and because in Canada a company is not allowed to sponsor a political party.
No.
it has to be a private citizen.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to say Suncor was like, all right, Buzz, whoever wants to give $500 to the PC party, let us know. We'll give you an extra $500. You just got to do it and give us the receipt by the end of the week.
That's scum.
Yep.
That's real scummy. I hadn't heard about that.
There was a lot of trouble that happened because of that.
Good.
I'm not unsympathetic to how much game companies rely on reviews, rely on Steam reviews, because the Steam reviews directly impact how
Recommendations and
how recommendations work on Steam, how high up it'll be on your list. So, but this isn't the way to do it.
no. I just feel bad. I don't know, obviously, if this company's done other things in the past that have wronged Steam, but I feel like an all-out ban is a bit much.
It is a strong move.
And maybe they'll reconsider it and something like that, but I'd say, if they
Valve is
just
really that kind of
removed the
company.
ratings that were placed by their employees and said, you're not allowed to do that again, and if we catch you, we will kick you off this platform, or something like that.
I don't know. I don't think Valve really
Cares.
goes back on its decisions.
I know it doesn't.
So,
I guess the last thing we can talk about is 21 employees of Eugen Systems went on strike following unpaid overtime and other rights violations. And I'm not sure what have Eugen Systems made.
it was called like a War Blizzard or something. I can't remember. I tried to remember what it was. Some RTS.
It's
or
an
something.
RTS. They're RTSs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this isn't the first time we've heard about game publishers really dicking over their developers and the people who work for them. Konami is the prime example a couple of years ago.
Ruse.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, a war game, a few of those.
Art of Aggression.
What I heard that was a little bit interesting in the case for
Active
them
aggression,
is that some of the employees that are taking offense to not being paid have taken content that they've made and taken it. Just like, no, you don't get this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, proper thing, man. Pay for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped do all the bug testing so that this part of your game works. Alright, there's all your bugs back.
Yeah.
Just take them.
I think it was something similar happened with I think it was Homebound. There was an RTS that came out a while ago, and it was like it was almost like Battlestar Galactica, where you're a flotilla of spaceships of a society that's been chased off your planet, and you have to flee your home system and find a new place to colonize. And
it's Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound,
No,
thank you.
I think-
And I think, if I remember correctly, and correct me if
Is that
I'm
the one
wrong,
with the pig?
that company
Yeah.
shut down, and one of the guys stole all the system files for it. And so when they went to remake the game years later, Jesus Christ,
You fucked up that wheel.
All of a sudden,
when you went to
bloody.
remake the game years later for the HD re-release, they had to basically remake all of the assets from scratch because they didn't have them anymore.
Are you doing that the right way?
Yeah. Oh shit. Doing it how the tutorial told me.
Oh.
I'm getting winded by doing it.
Because I thought that makes a weak... Alright.
But
I guess the lesson here is
You probably should be doing it with
Worry
your
about
don't
the
make
double.
RTS games
Yeah, I
if
know.
you want to make money.
I guess, but Konami also did that, and I'm sure other game companies are may not be as bad as Konami, but I've heard that a lot of especially AAA game companies are pretty bad to work for when it comes to employee rights and benefits and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And what is it? The crunch, is that what it's called? Where employees are expected to work long overtime hours with no compensation and no overtime in order to get a game to come out.
Yeah.
One of my friends works at, I don't remember what they're called, but it's the local video game company that is in Halifax as well as here in St. John's.
Is it Other Ocean?
Other Ocean.
Yeah, something like that.
Like-
They're the
No,
ones
it's not a game.
doing the port of the Rick and Morty VR game for PS4.
Yeah, I think that's Other Ocean, yeah.
Yeah.
Falchion.
And my buddy who went through engineering with me, he works there, and he was like, "Yeah, we're getting real crunch time now. It sucks." I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, last week I worked 65 hours."
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck
like,
that.
do you get paid by the hour? No, it's a contract.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I understand.
Labor
And,
of love.
and here's the thing. People. I've heard people say, because
this is like
it
the
comes up
majority.
with writing
That's the worst
and
part.
with. I'm sure Aaron, you get this with artwork sometime. That oh, it's your passion. It's artwork. You shouldn't be paid for You shouldn't be paid for this because
Well, it's
your
good
passion.
exposure at them.
Yeah, but like it's the thing. You're still paying. You're still getting a product at the end of it. You're still your time is worth something. You should be paid for your time and service. That's a fair thing to be paid for, and you shouldn't feel bad for doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, look at Jim Lee, for example. Very famous artist at DC Comics. Loves comics, loves the medium. He's a really talented artist. But you're getting your ass kicked. Jesus
Man,
Christ.
that guy did not appreciate you swiping that.
But I mean, he still gets paid.
I'm just
because
looking
he loves
at it.
comic books.
Isn't that the guy
so
who trained
much.
you?
No.
So
might be
if
the
he
same
can,
thing.
because he's like, yeah, I'm sure if you ask him, he's like, yeah, I love comic books, but at the same time, I have to eat. This is not just a hobby. I'm doing this as my job. And if DC's making
And that's
money
the
off
thing.
my work,
That's the thing. Doing work for nothing sets the precedent that you'll do work for nothing.
yeah.
So getting exposure is useless because it just exposes you to people who will also want work for nothing.
That's a really good way of putting that.
So,
Here's our advice to you, Thomas: don't work for exposure.
I mean, I did a lot of that stuff in college, and just from personal experience, that's the sort of client that you attract. You just attract more people who want something for next to nothing, if not nothing.
All right, then.
So-
I won't talk to you for any help possibly designing an album cover for me.
You could pay him.
I mean, I have done stuff
Bastard.
for.
What's wrong with you?
I have
Well,
done
I
stuff
did
for very
myself
cheap.
Don't
last
appreciate
one
his
for
time.
free.
His time isn't worth it.
No, I was just going to ask him for his professional opinion, mostly.
Yeah, you can ask me for my opinion. I mean,
I
I can
tell you
help
what he's
out
gonna
people,
say. Looks good.
but I don't really get too
Aaron's
involved in projects
Yeah,
unless
he's gonna go.
That's a piece of shit.
I don't usually get too involved with a project unless I'm getting paid something.
With the proper thing.
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, this is
So
it's a common thing across every industry where you get what you pay for, and there's a lot of people who expect something for nothing.
Especially here, I think, like
Oh, yeah.
in Newfoundland
Newfoundland.
specifically.
Yeah.
Because everyone's a friend of someone else, and everyone expects their friends to do something for free, basically. So.
Well, I mean, I got you helped me out over Christmas, Aaron, because I got him to design some tickets for me so I could give them to me and my dad were giving my mom a trip and tickets to Come From Away for Christmas, and
Nice.
we wanted to get her tickets so that she would have something to actually have.
Open.
So I got Aaron to design them for me, and when it was done, I paid him because he did work. He spent time on it, and I'm like, and I think you gave me a really good price on it, but I still I still paid you. I didn't expect.
Yeah, and it's some smaller projects. I'm not gonna charge like hand over fist for shit, but
Yeah.
it's nice to get
Get
something
paid to-
out of your.
You
out of
did
your
something, get paid for it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, just pay. I
appreciate
haven't all the
that.
time in my industry, but we'll go in and we'll go like, hey, can you give us a quote and an alarm system? Yep, we go in with like this will cost around
This is a lock
$800.
picking minigame.
Jesus Christ.
I don't have the skill to pick this really.
Oh,
but-
so this is the lock picking that was
Yeah, so you got to
successful
find this gold spot, but because this is kind of too high level for me, as soon as I start rotating it, it just fails. I don't even know why they let you attempt it.
You say $800, like $800, I can get that for free from another company. No, you can't because they'll install it for free, but
and
then you're locked into a 5-year contract. We're paying $75 a month,
Yeah, I know.
as we've had as a conversation, Thomas. It's bad. So there's nothing aside from air, and that might change. Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
In the coming years, but aside from air, there and arguably water, there's nothing in this world that's free. So you get what you pay for. So remember that. And I think with that we can probably sign off because we gotta get ready to go to the movie.
Probably,
The movie
yeah.
starts at 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30.
Yeah, so we should probably clue up now. Is there anything else anybody wanted to add into the podcast before we finish up?
I would like to just say this famous line from a pretty influential person.
Okay.
I be ballin' right there where the Knicks play. Get cake. Gotta make sure mama's rent paid. I was dead broke. Got my shit straight. Switched lanes. Now they switching up. Blank bitch made. I've been finessing since the 6th grade. Switchblade. I might cut a hoe if her shit fake. And I think those are words to live by.
And with that,
wait,
real
can I say one quick one?
all right.
I rip it hardcore like porno flick bitches. And I roll with groups of ghetto bastards and biscuits.
Didn't rhyme.
That is a direct quote from the Wu-Tang Clan.
That didn't rhyme though.
Bitches and biscuits.
Is that why they made an
Bring it
album
up
that
with
they
the
only
clan.
made one copy?
Alright.
I shall at the next meeting. All right, so thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Are you angry, Aaron?
What?
You see, you huffed there.
Angry about what?
You huffed.
We're trying to outro because we got to fucking leave.
Yeah. He's having a
What
hard
the fuck
time.
you doing? You
climbing
almost
that
hit me,
platform.
bitch. What are you doing?
Light him on fire.
Alright.
Can you not stab him with the torch?
No, but I can stab with this.
Bullshit.
Alright.
Oh, man,
Hey, he
he-
took
Look
that like
at
a
him
champ.
run!
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay.